I think so. Yep. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So thank you all for joining us on this cold, snowy day in November. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. Welcome to this month's meetup with Windy City REI. What's up, Carlo? And we're excited to have here Chance Badertscher. So Chance has been in the industry. He's a real estate attorney with Lavelle Law, and he's been in the industry now for 9 years. April, do you need me to do something? Oh, perfect. So he's been in the industry now for 9 years, and we were just talking about this before we started, but the last time we had an attorney here over at our meetup was back in 2020 with Vivek Das when we were still doing it virtually. So we're very excited to have another real estate professional here that can counsel us on things, everything law. And so everybody give it up here for Chance.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sound okay? Video good?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. All right, good stuff. All right. Yeah, got my slideshow all ready to go. Tell you everything. Sexiest field of law, as everyone knows. So we got a very recent photo of me as well. There we go. Some things we're going to talk about today. Number one, choosing a real estate attorney. We're going to talk about some red flags that we come up with when we're going through the attorney review and inspection process. Since we're a group of investors, we're going to talk about starting up an LLC and what type of entity might be right for you. If we need a series LLC, we'll get into that as well. I'll talk about title insurance, everybody's favorite topic. And then we'll talk about some tax issues, both how those prorations are calculated, as well as appealing your taxes when you get that unexpected bill. Number one, when you're picking out an attorney, there's a couple questions you're going to want to ask. Number one, how long have you been doing this? In this field, a lot of times you got to fake it until you make it. So you want somebody that's been down this road, especially when you're investors. You want people that have experience with investing. Even more important than that, do they specialize in real estate? I can't tell you how many deals I've had working with an attorney who's, a family law attorney, a divorce attorney, an estate planning attorney. They have no idea what's going on during a transaction. You're going to have, what's that? Closer to the mic? Oh, all right, there we go. You're going to have delays if you're working with an attorney that has not done real estate transactions before. Also, when are you going to be available? Real estate doesn't happen 9 to 5 a lot of times. You're going to have showings that are past business hours, on the weekends. You're going to have questions at unexpected times. You want to make sure you can get those questions answered. And finally, who am I going to be working with? A lot of attorneys don't do their correspondence. You might be talking to their assistants quite a bit. And that's okay. Most assistants are fantastic at what they do, but you want to set those expectations right away. We're finally under contract. We've done our inspection. What are some things that we want to be on the lookout for? Number one, read the disclosures if we're buying residential real estate. The seller is required to disclose certain problems with the property. We don't want any surprises. A big one, tax prorations. We just kind of went through this last year. Taxes get reassessed every 3 years. We want to make sure when you're buying the property, you're getting the credit that you deserve. Taxes are in arrears. So we want to make sure if the property's been appraised for a much higher value, we want the seller to be holding some money in escrow so we can get a credit when the tax bill finally comes out. Water intrusion is a big one. It can be a major problem. We want to know if we've got any problems there. If there's evidence of pests, we want them to take care of that. Zoning certification. If we're buying multifamily properties and you think you're buying a 4-unit, we want to put it in the contract that this contract is dependent on us getting the zoning certification from the city of Chicago that this property is actually 4 units. And finally, are we getting the answers that we need from the seller? If they're holding stuff back, there might be a reason for that. And sometimes the best deal you're involved with is the one that you walk away from. Now we'll talk about entity creation. If you're buying real estate as an investor, you're going to want to start an LLC. It's great because, provides all of the liability protection as a corporation, but it's cheaper, it's easier to run. You get pass-through taxation. Most important part about this is protecting your personal assets. If you've got a tenant that's coming after you, you want them going after your LLC, not you personally. Going along with that, setting up a series LLC. Basically, this allows you to create one vehicle and you can hold all of your properties in their own little entity underneath the parent LLC. Most importantly, it's going to protect each property from each other. You don't want somebody coming after you, taking one property and then being able to pull in all of your assets into a lawsuit. That is terrible. Yes. That's a fantastic question. And you're going to want to also set up a trust to be the holder of your LLC. Yeah. We can certainly talk about it. Yeah, afterwards, if that's all right. Cool. Sure. Cool. No problem. Let's see. So now we're actually ready to close. We can talk about title insurance. What is it? Basically, it's a one-time payment you make to a title insurance company that's going to protect you from any existing issues with title. It's very, very rare that you ever have a title insurance claim, but when it happens, holy cow, is it awesome. I've had a property get taken away from one of my clients because the title company did not see that the property had been sold via taxes. Basically, we give that problem right to the title insurance company. They got the property back to my client within a matter of weeks. Like, they'll negotiate a settlement with that tax purchaser. Cost of title insurance, it varies, but each title company is basically in the same ballpark, and the cost of that insurance is going to be a percentage of the purchase price. You can buy a piece of property without getting title insurance, but if you are obtaining financing, you're going to have to pay for that lender's insurance policy. And some people think that, it's unnecessary, but sometimes they're filing errors. Sometimes title companies miss stuff. Forgeries are terrible. And then there's always undisclosed heirs that might have a claim on a property that come out of absolutely nowhere. The title insurance company is going to be there to protect you in those cases. All right. Tax issues. Big thing that comes up in every transaction, both on, there we go. Both on the sale and buy side, are tax proration credits. Taxes in Illinois are paid in arrears, meaning this year we're paying the 2022 taxes. Next year we'll be paying the 2023 taxes. We got to figure out what's owed from the seller to the buyer. Things that kind of get overlooked sometimes is if the property is eligible for these homeowner exemptions, or senior freeze exemption is a big one. We want to make sure that money's getting factored into the prorations that we're giving. Senior freeze, as you guys may know, that needs to get reapplied for every single year. And you're only eligible for these exemptions if you own the property as of January 1st of that year. But if you live there January 1st, you sell on January 2nd, you're entitled to those exemptions. We want to make sure that you're getting those to keep those tax bills down, and also that we're calculating those prorations. And then number 2, tax appeals. There's technically 3 different levels of appeal. The first one is with the assessor. If that comes back unfavorably, as it often does, because assessors don't like to admit that they are wrong. You get to go to the Board of Review, where you have a much better chance, in my experience. Some bases for appeals. Number one, purchase price. If you've bought your property within the last 3 years, we can use that as a basis to bring that assessed value down. If that's not working, we can look at comparables. Let's look at your neighbors. If you've got a similar type of house with a similar type of property, we can submit those to the assessor and the Board of Review, and hopefully that'll help bring down. And if neither of those are successful, we can always appeal at the state level. And they are required, if the assessor and Board of Review, if they've not brought your assessed value down to your purchase price, they're required at that level to do that. So. Thought I had one more slide, but I think we can move on to a Q&A now. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we're good.
That's the last one. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes.
LLC, so you folks know if you're getting a mortgage and need an LLC.
Ideally, yes. Exactly. And well, buyers don't want to do that either, because you're probably going to have a higher interest rate if you're closing in your LLC. So what we usually do is we will close in your own name, wait a couple of months, transfer that property via quitclaim deed into the name of your LLC. Technically, is that a violation of your mortgage? Yes. But I think we've got some lenders here that'll tell you, as long as you're making your payment, it's very, very rare that they're going to care. Yeah.
So that's something you do as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Oh, sure. Yeah, and actually one other vehicle that you can use is what's called a land trust. You can close in the name of, or your own name via that land trust, and then you can always transfer the beneficiary to your LLC. Cool. Do you have a question?
Well, more interested, if you could discuss purpose of the trust, the advantages of it for real estate investors.
Mhm.
When you're, it's more money to establish a trust, right?
Up front, yeah.
Yeah, but could you explain a little bit more of the benefits of the trust as the owner of the LLC?
Yes. The big benefit of having a trust is avoiding probate. You've spent all this time becoming a real estate investor. You've got your vehicles set up. Something unexpected happens to you and you pass away. What happens to all of that property? If you don't have a trust in place, it goes to court. It's going to take months and it's going to cost a lot of money to get that figured out. The trust is going to have all of that set up so that it happens automatically. So if you have family, you want that property to pass on to, the trust will have that in place. You can avoid court and it happens immediately. Yes.
Also, other
Yes, it can, to a certain level. Thing is, there's certain things that are part of a public record. If you had a mortgage in your name, that's part of the public record. Where that tax bill is going, part of the public record. Even if you have it going to the name of your LLC, you can go on the Secretary of State's website and find out who the managers are of that LLC. And of course, you can have even more levels to that, but it can provide a certain level of anonymity. Especially a land trust, like that's its whole purpose is to make sure that you stay anonymous. A will still put you in probate. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh. The land trust is the one that is the moment that
That's not necessarily with a land trust, but a living trust. Yeah. Yeah, land trust is usually set up with somebody like Chicago Title Land Trust, and then they handle everything. But your actual trust, they don't name your power of attorney, who's in charge in case you do lose your capacity. Yes.
Made it pretty clear that he doesn't like people using attorneys.
Mhm.
Like he had like a spreadsheet and like showing how like you don't need to use an attorney. Can you explain to us what the benefit is of an attorney, especially for tax?
Unless you're doing comparables, there really is no benefit. And there it's just a time saver. If you have somebody that knows how to find comparables and they can do it quickly, how much is your time worth? That's really what it is. I don't necessarily like doing tax appeals. They're boring, they're time consuming. But you don't need me to do it. Yeah, you can easily do it on your own. I'm sorry. 65. And then for the freeze, you have to have certain income requirements as well. So you have to submit that to the county every single year. Back there?
So I had a super that piggyback with their question. I right now I have a free class at one every day.
Mhm.
And I want to go ahead to LLC, but I'm being told that that's called like the way my contract.
Mhm.
So I have one sales month.
Yeah.
So it's still, you say do that, or is there another way of checking?
I have to say, you shouldn't do that.
Can you repeat that a little better for the recording?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, especially with FHA, no, you shouldn't take it out of your own name and put it into an LLC. In my experience, as long as you're still paying, it's unlikely to cause a problem. But with FHA loans, there is that extra level of scrutiny. Mhm.
The other one, so if you represent a holding company for the kind of feel that here, like,
Absolutely. I love avoiding liability and I love extra layers of protection. So that would be ideal. Mhm. You can do them both at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, but it's very important that you have all of those interlocked working together. Yes.
Attorneys have had varying opinions on the use of a series LLC versus going the traditional route of just opening an LLC to serve as like your holding and then opening up subsidiaries underneath that.
Mhm.
Is there any benefit one way or another than you would say like one with a series LLC?
A series is going to be just a little easier. You're going to have the same level of protection so long as you take all of those steps to avoid piercing the corporate veil. Like you need to have separate tax ID numbers, you need to have separate bank accounts, all of that stuff. It's just going to be a little cheaper on the series side.
Now, the point about the holding company.
Yep.
Bill perhaps just have a holding company local to the state that you're going to be holding property in for additional holding company, Illinois holding company, and then the properties in the subsidiary.
In Illinois, yes. It's going to go by state basis, but in Illinois, you're going to have to register as an agent, even if you have an outside LLC. So you might as well just have that Illinois LLC. Okay.
Here's a question about if you're buying real estate using a self-directed item, is there any special information you should be aware of?
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I don't know off the top of my head. So yeah, let's talk tomorrow. Mhm. Yes.
And or maybe
Just staying anonymous. That's really the only benefit for Delaware and Wyoming in terms of real estate investing. Yeah. In Illinois. I'm gonna say set up the LLC right away, set up either a series or separate LLCs right away. Like nobody thinks there's gonna be a problem until there's a problem. And that's all about avoiding liability. That's really just the name of the game. Yeah. Tim.
Yeah. Can I get homeowners accepted?
Yes, as long as it's your primary residence and you've lived there as of January 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry? No, insurers base their, insurance premiums off of insurability of the property, not necessarily who's owning it. Heads on. Yeah, if you're setting up a separate LLC for each property, you get charged by the LLC. It's going to be a little cheaper to set up a series because there's a heck of a lot less work to do. I think it's like 500 for attorney's fees. And then, yeah, I want to say 300 for each series. Yes.
Contractor deed, you would not be able to get a homeowner's exemption, correct? Because the deed technically is not under your name. The owner of the deed is obviously not.
You should be able to. But let me check in with that tomorrow. Maybe we can talk.
Yeah.
All right. I can get you a definitive answer on that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I know I went over a lot of boring stuff very quickly. So if you guys do think of any other questions, please feel free to reach out. I've got some business cards that I'll leave out. But yeah, email me, call me. I love to talk real estate. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be talking quite a bit. Go ahead. I recommend Jody Upchurch for my firm. Yeah. Yeah, I can put you in touch with him. He's fantastic. And he's a newer attorney, so he's cheaper than I am.
If you sign in.
Mhm.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. All right.
Anyone else? All right.
Yeah, don't scared.
Yeah.
The bill.
Yeah.
I'll leave.
Yeah, I'll be hanging around too.
More specific questions. All right, let me lower this microphone for the vertically challenged people here. All right, guys, so thank you and give it up again for Chance. Before we go ahead and take our picture and start networking, I just wanted to do some housekeeping. Remember, December 14th is our holiday party. So if you haven't registered yet, make sure you sign in. We have a QR code right by the front door over here. So when you sign in, it'll give you the link to be able to register for our holiday party. So tickets are going by quickly. So make sure you sign in, submit. What's that? Yeah, so the holiday party, we've been doing this now. This is our third year. This is our third year we've been doing this. It's in collaboration with the other major meetups that are here in the area. So if you haven't heard of Chicago Multifamily Club, we're doing that in collaboration with them, as well as Chicago RE Investors, held by Jonathan Clem. It's going to be held, like I said, on December 14th at A&N Mortgage. It's off of Elston and it's like Belmont or Diversity. Oh, Armitage. Yeah, Elston and like Armitage. It's a good time. Great networking opportunity. We usually pack the house every single year. So I would highly suggest if you haven't gotten your tickets already, definitely get it because we've been selling out like every single year. So hope to see you all there.
Dinner and drinks.
Yes.
A
DJ, all the drinks, all the food, dancing. It's a good time. Yeah, real estate shenanigans at the end of the year. So yeah, make sure you sign up. So if you haven't already, the QR code's right there. Okay. So moving forward, let's go ahead and take our monthly picture. We're going to go ahead and go by the tap bar over there. And then we'll go ahead and proceed with the networking. Thanks again, everybody.